Morning, everybody. Todd here, and welcome back to another Monday Morning Mindfulness. This is part 3 of the Situational Awareness series. As promised in the last session, when we looked at your feet, this one's going to take a closer look at a daily activity, drinking. More specifically, a hot cup of tea or a hot cup of coffee. Probably best to do this first thing in the morning. Most people do that anyhow. If you're not one of those folks that likes to have coffee or tea first thing in the morning, any time of the day works just fine. That coffee at lunch, that coffee after dinner, that tea before you go to bed. And it doesn't have to be hot at all. It can just be a beverage. But whatever you choose, go ahead and grab something like that right now. Pause this. Grab yourself something to drink so we can do this together. Okay, so you've got your drink. I'm going to assume it's hot, just because we have a little bit more there for us to pay attention to. And just like before, we're simply going to be present in this moment, situationally aware of what's happening externally right in front of you with that cup of hot beverage. What I'd like for you to do is to just pay attention to the sense of the cup, the firmness of the cup, the smoothness or the roughness of that cup. Does that cup have a texture? Is it a larger cup and so it has a larger grip for you? Is it a smaller cup and so you have to hold it differently? Just notice the tension in your hands holding the cup. Take a few moments and just notice those few things. Now, if your mind wanders, you start thinking about what you need to do today or what you did today or that difficult situation that just keeps coming back, just notice that you've switched. And then bring your awareness back to that cup of hot beverage in front of you. And what I'd like for you to do now is just to pay attention to the liquid. Notice its color. Is it darker? Is it lighter? Is there an intense aroma to it, or is there a light aroma to it? Just take a deep breath and smell what's right in front of you. Notice if there's anything moving in the water. Any tea leaves, any coffee grinds. Pay attention to the warmth at the bottom part of the cup and the coolness towards the top of the cup. Just investigate, be curious about this cup as if it's the first time you've ever engaged it. And just stay there, noticing everything you can about this cup. And if your mind wanders or you're interrupted from an external source, that's all right. Just notice it. Just pay attention to that for a moment. Then bring your awareness back to what you are currently present with, that cup of hot beverage sitting in your hands. Now take a sip and just pay attention to all the different sensations that happens when you do this. Notice the flavor. Notice how warm or hot or cooler it is. Notice the wetness of it. Notice how the mouth and the tongue and the back of the throat responds to this as you drink it. Pay attention to the liquid as it moves down the back of your throat and towards your stomach. Just be aware. Just watch how all of this happens. There's nothing to solve here. There's no problem right now in this moment that needs your attention. And again, if your mind has wandered, just remember to bring yourself back to what you were doing. Note where you went, but bring your awareness back to what you're doing in this moment, right here and right now. And there you have it. Dealing with a hot beverage, a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, or even, like I said, an ice cold glass of water. It can work for all of these things. And the best way to begin to harness this ability, this situational awareness, is to be able to sit down and do little tiny practices like this so that they become automatic, behavioral, habitual, something that you don't have to think about anymore. And just ask yourself, is this really a skill that would benefit my life? Would it be nice to actually notice thoughts, notice sensations, notice feelings, and not react to them the way I typically might? Chances are, if you're here, yeah, you see the benefit of that. And so I extend the invitation to have you just give this a go. Again, set your alarm, perhaps a little reminder that tells you, meditate, pay attention to, focus upon that cup, that beverage, whatever it happens to be at that point of the day. I typically like to do this myself every single morning, just a few minutes, 2-3 minutes tops. And I try to pay attention to when my mind has wandered, notice how long it wandered for before I noticed I was not paying attention, bring my awareness back, and re-engage. If we can keep practicing this, eventually it will just become something you automatically do. Wishing you all well this morning. Until the next time, may you be well.